By the way, they almost depopulated one additional person who was a former president. They tried to do that. But acting Secret Service director hurt by counter snipers, email ripping leadership after Trump shooting. By the way, the back and forth with Josh Hawley, which we want to show this clip to you. We're going to show you two clips. So let me just read this to you, and I'll go to Rob here. During a Senate hearing, Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn confronted acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe over an email from a counter sniper criticizing the agency's leadership following the July 13th assassination attempt on former President Trump. The email stated, "This agency needs to change, and if not now, when? The next assassination in 30 days." And claimed the U.S. Secret Service motto is CYA, cover your ass. Rowe responded, I'm hurt because my people are hurting right now. Rob, play this clip, and then we'll go to the other one as well. Go for it.
Senator, so I'm hurt by that email, but not in the way you think I'm saying it. I'm hurt because my people are hurting right now. We need them.
Then why did somebody delete the email?
I'll get back to you on that.
The agency deleted the email.
But may I address your question? And,
yes,
and I will get back to you as to whether the email was deleted or not. My agency is hurting. Emotions are raw. I actually want to hear more from that UD officer, that technician. In his email, he referenced that he had spent time serving our nation as a United States Marine, that he is a 20-year professional of the Secret Service. I am committed to being a change agent, meaning I am committed to reviewing some of these things. I looked at the points in his email very quickly. I saw it as I was on my way over here this morning. I want to have further conversations, not only with him, but also the counter-sniper supervisors.
If I may step back in.
Literally just filibustering.
Oh, my God.
That's called, it's filibustering. They deleted the email, people.
Go ahead, Rob. Do you have the Josh Hawley one?
Yes, this one's more explosive.
Go ahead.
Insurance, and as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to
investigate
to know
exactly what the decision-making process was?
What more do you need to investigate to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their jobs.
I cannot put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on the scale?
You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the Secret Service.
Is it not prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days,
then
just like you have.
Fire somebody to hold them accountable.
I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly persecuted?
Unfairly,
we've got people who are
we
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you've got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally-goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
Senator, I think this is where you and I agree. This was a failure, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Well, I hope you're going to do something about it. Let me ask you something else. The Real Clear Politics reports this morning that you were directly involved in denying additional security resources and personnel, including counter-snipers, not just to this event, but over the last 2 years, that President Trump's team repeatedly asked for these additional resources, and you personally were involved in denying them. Is that true?
Senator, as I stated earlier, that is not true.
So you never denied any resources to former President Trump's team?
No, not me. No, sir.
And you weren't involved in any of that? You were never involved in the decision-making?
No, sir, I was not.
Let me ask you just one or two other things here quickly. Well, whistleblowers tell me that, in fact, law enforcement were stationed to be on that roof and that law enforcement abandoned their post because it was too hot. Is that accurate?
Senator, I have heard that as well. Again,
you can pause this right now. I mean, you see Josh Hawley's pushing him. By the way, another story comes out right after this. talking about the fact that Secret Service sniper warns another assassination attempt could be imminent as agency's failures are exposed. We all should expect another attempt to happen before November. We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership, warned Secret Service sniper in letter, adding this agency needs to change. If not now, when? The next assassination attempt in 30 days. Veteran agent criticized supervisors. Sadly, we have fallen short for years. Is this it, Rob?
Yep.
Sadly, we have fallen short for years. We just got lucky and look good doing it. I have conveyed these thoughts to not only our supervisors, only to be brushed off as those with less experience somehow knew more than me. Describe it in July 13 attack as a stain I will never be able to cleanse. Security failures expose a full 30-second lapse between when local police officers confronted Gunman Thomas Crooks and the first shot fired at Trump, local cops encircling the building he shot from more than 2 minutes before the attack. Vinny, when you hear stuff like this, you're hearing Josh Hawley, you're hearing the director of Secret Service, what are you thinking?
My opinion is that, listen, incompetence we talked about, gross negligence, whatever you want to call it. If, God forbid, Trump was killed, we'd be in the same exact place. He'd be in the same spot. Kim Cheadle would be, she'd step down, Pat. She wouldn't go to prison. We'd be exactly where we are. And when we have a whistleblower coming out, by the way, this guy's on the inside. He is a Secret Service member saying he will not stop until the 5 high-level supervisors are all gone. You know what that means? He doesn't trust any of them because apparently, to me, I take it as if they have maybe some bias against the president. To have that type of failure is absolutely unbelievable. And for him to say that it might happen again before November, that should scare the hell out of everybody, including Donald Trump. Like, and he's still doing these. He just went to PA. He was there yesterday. And I get it. You want to show the force, but I mean, come on. When they're telling you, listen, you're not secure. The head of the Secret Service, I mean, people in there are not securing you. Like, what are we talking about? And the talk about denial, RFK just got it. They just gave a guy whose father and uncle was murdered, and now they're like, okay, since this guy was almost killed, we're going to give it to you. It's unbelievable.
And the Biden administration took credit for the decision over Mayorkas to give protection to RFK Jr. So I look at it this way. You know, this is where whistleblowers need to be protected. And usually the authority over them, you know, has the power of their paycheck and their livelihood. And so I think this whistleblower should be, you know, pulled out of the Secret Service, you know, given the opportunity to cooperate in exchange for their full pension, and then put in front of the investigative committee so they could testify and prove all the stuff. Because remember, sometimes whistleblowers just have a few words. Other time whistleblowers have emails, dates, descriptions, conversations, text messages. So if this whistleblower is not just sending some, you know, crazy email, if they really have it, then say, guess what? Here's your subpoena. You're going to be before Congress. We are securing your pension and your whistleblower protection. Come on and testify. Now you can get a real investigation going. You see where I'm going here?
And let me ask you a question, Tom, if you don't mind, Pat.
And if there's 5 people in there, let's get them named.
But Tom, and I can understand, because think about this. If whistleblowers felt safe enough to come forward to not worry about, you know, prison or, you know, getting arrested, losing their job.
No, whistleblowers worry. It's not the mob. Whistleblowers worry about livelihood most of the time in corporate America.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless you're reporting Boeing defects, and then you could, you know, accidentally suffocate yourself in a car. But for the most part, whistleblowers are concerned about their livelihoods.
But so going to my point,
and the ability to support their family.
Shouldn't there be an organization, like I'm talking about, like a legitimate, prominent organization that has something set up for whistleblowers that obviously, like people, obviously, you have to pay for?
We do. It's called FBI Witness Protection, and it's also called congressional committees.
Tom, I wouldn't trust the FBI at all. At this point, at all.
Get it.
I'm saying an independent place. Pat, think about this: an independent organization that we fund, and where if you come up, Adam, and you're a credible whistleblower, we fact check, we do a background, by the way, you could prevent an assassination attempt on the president of the United States. We'll take care of you. The fund will take care of you to get you back on your feet, because we need to hear this. Imagine the people, Tom, that knew the security failure, and we're hearing it right now. If they had come out earlier and said, hey guys, at this event, do not let President Trump go up. They're failing to put snipers on this roof. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. We already have a patsy. I'd want to know that beforehand as a whistleblower and to know that I'd be protected monetarily, my future, if I did it.
Well, that's the line of conspiracy that gets really, really sticky. On one hand, do you say, did the Secret Service, through incompetence and lack of good oversight, just absolutely fumble on what's happened? Is that it? That's possible. That's very possible. That, guess what? There weren't 10 shooters. There weren't all this stuff. This is what happened.
By the way, let me show you
on
this.
On the other hand, did they intentionally enable it? That is the Rubicon.
Yeah, let me show you guys. This is the first time Trump's done this, and Gateway Pundit showed this. Yesterday, Trump retweeted, or they call it retruth, this picture right here. What did you know? And when did you know about it? If you want to know who ordered the assassination attempt, he says, if you want to know who ordered the assassination attempt, he's blaming Rae. Okay. Did you hear this?
Yep.
So he's blaming Rae's. You can't see what it's saying below it because that picture is covering it.
Well, there we go.
The FBI director, Christopher Wray.
The FBI director
appointed.
That Trump appointed. So if you want to know who ordered the assassination of Donald J. Trump. So now, Trump goes here yesterday. This is like, I mean, you know this claim. I mean, he stayed pretty not going to speculation.
He's been neutral. Big
He's been neutral. But he just went there for the first time yesterday, and they reported on it. Adam.
No, literally, this is where I was going with this. So the conversation I would want to have with you guys is this Josh Hawley and the acting Secret Service Director, Ronald Rowe, is this a conversation that's a net positive or a net negative for society? The conversation that they're having, is it a net positive or net negative?
I think it's positive, a net for positive. Sure.
I fully agree with you. Because my opinion is that conversation right there is what makes America great. So, you know, the famous quote, sunlight is the best disinfectant. This is actually what we need. And they said a few buzzwords that we actually need this discussion because we need accountability and we need transparency. Sunlight is the greatest disinfectant. He said this was a colossal failure and we need to get to the bottom of it. And the acting Secret Service literally almost choked up. Did you notice that? Like, he got very emotional.
Yeah, I saw it.
If you're testifying in Congress and you choke up, I don't think this guy's a professional actor. I just like, oh my God. By the way, he's the acting director. Kimberly Cheeto was just, stepped down, 3 days ago, 5 days ago, whatever the number was. This is what makes America great. Why? We just talked about Putin. You think they're having this conversation in Russia when Navalny ends up dead? No, it's just yesterday's news. Or the guy that got shot down, what was his name? Whatever his name was, the guy that ran the Wagner group. He's not even a discussion anymore. Gone, dead. You think they're having this conversation in Venezuela with Maduro? You think she's having this conversation? You think the Ayatollahs are having this conversation? This is what makes America great. Democracy is ugly, but at least we get to see it and there's transparency right there. Last point, to bring it back home to what Pat said, the Warren Commission, you brought this up the other day, Tom. The Warren Commission was basically to get to the bottom of who the hell killed JFK, right? This is the Warren Commission, but with JFK alive, being Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You don't think he has some vested interest in finding out the truth? Who tried to shoot him in the face?
Yeah, but
exactly.
But when you say we want to get to the bottom of it, Adam, people have to realize, though, we've been trying to get to the bottom of the JFK assassination since 1963. There's still documents that we can't see because it would ruin the CIA and ruin the FBI. So this type of thing, it just frustrates the average American like me because we know this isn't going to lead to anything, because how many hearings, how many Fauci hearings, how many do we have to hear as Americans where we are basically controlled opposition? We go, yell at Fauci. And then what, Adam? The guy's walking around with Secret Service protection. So people like me, the angry patriot, I'm angry, I'm frustrated because this is happening and we love it. Hold his foot to the fire. And then what?
But here's my point.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but here's where you're actually wrong.
Go ahead.
Because if Trump actually gets elected,
you
don't think he's going to have some vested interest in the one word you're talking about? Accountability. So if Trump gets elected and he's like, all right, let's figure out who tried to kill me, you don't think he's going to try to figure that out? Do you think the presidents know who killed JFK? Do you think they actually?
Sure. I think Donald Trump knows. He saw all the documents.
You think Obama knows? You think Biden knows?
Sure. Biden doesn't know anything. But going back to my point is Trump, Adam, whoever these guys, the reason that they want Trump gone, period, killed, whatever the hell they want, because he's going to release what you said.
But be
all
careful
the
what you're
crossfire-
saying, Vin,
What?
because if you're saying that every president knows, that means you're saying that every single president, Republican, Democrat, is lying to you.
They all lie. That were all these politicians.
By the way, if they're part of the establishment, yes,
Yep.
of course. If they're part of the establishment, absolutely, they do.
What about Trump, though?
He does. He knows.
So what's the if they're part of the establishment, they're not going to give the answer. By the way, question for you: what's your percentage, Tom, of the fact that there's going to be another assassination attempt between now and November 5th?
Great question.
What's your percentage? Where are you at?
I am nervously 50-50.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I'm nervously 50-50. Because when you get everybody revved up and you say these kind of things in the media, you enable weak-minded lone wolves. And I'm really worried. So I'm nervously 50-50.
I'm at 70-30, and you know why? Because the reason they have to stop him, Pat. He has, Adam, you nailed it. All the documents, all the crossfire, and you said it, the year of investigation, the moment he gets in, it's retribution time. And that's what they're petrified. Obama, all of them, they all spied. He's going to go after everybody. 70-30.
Adam.
Well, the likelihood that somebody is going to try to do something, very high. In the 80s, 90s, whether it's going to happen, I would hope that it's very low. You know, Trump, he was given the opportunity to basically say, yeah, no more outdoor rallies. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. So you're dealing with a guy who's basically saying, yeah, I don't care what you want me to do. Step your game up. I literally believe those were his words, like, do better. So outdoor rallies, indoor rallies, they better come full protection mode, because there's no doubt some people don't want to see this guy to become the president.
Where you at?
What's your number, PBD?
I'm at 5 to 10% was where I'm at. And by the way, that they'll actually pull it off and succeed at it. I do think there's going to be some very weird things happening that we never thought about that could be out of control of him, for them to spin it and say, oh my God, that is so terrible. And how this took place, and we were, this is so devastating. But because of this, we have to go to XYZ, and this is what's going to be, because they can't play this again the next 4 months. They cannot. If they do it, that's audacity. If they do it, that's a lot of audacity for them. And in regards to Trump still going out, that's why he's got the loyal following that he has.
Yes.
Because he's got the brass to go out when you tell him and say, wait, you want me to play scared? You want me to play for what they want me to do? You want me to be like, yeah, I'm going to be in the basement like the previous guy that was so scared hiding? I'm not that guy. You voted for me because I'm getting out there talking to people, and that's why he gets the followership that he does.
I have to push back on that.
You can.
I agree with you.
Yeah, you can.
But we talked about this Tuesday. Trump doesn't need to go do those rallies, because what percentage of people that show up to those rallies are already voting for Trump? 99.999. They're voting for him. He's preaching to the choir. And listen, this is how he made his brand. He probably loves it, right? He doesn't do this because he loves it. Yeah. And I get that. But you're not in the preaching to the choir business anymore, Trump. You are now in the conversion business. So how are you going to convert people? Because right now, Trump's ceiling and floor is 42%, 44%, 40%. How are you going to get to 50%? How are you going to get the independents? How are you going to get the women? How are you going to get? That's what he needs to do. So the rallies are great. I love it. I understand. But you're getting exposed, maybe getting shot. Yeah. But you're not converting anybody at that rally.
He's not going to stop doing that. A part of that strategy of converting is not to convert, is for the American people to compare. That's why you do the rallies. We announced the different speakers that'll be at the Vault Conference. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which you already know. Nick Saban, greatest college football coach of all time. If you say no, it's because you probably don't like the guy, but the guy's won, I think, 7 national championships. This will be one of the first business conferences he's doing since he retired. Max Tegmark, who wrote a book called Life 3.0. Some claim it's the best book of all time on AI. Even Elon Musk is a big fan of his. And then Will Guidara, who founded the #1 restaurant in the world. Vault Conference. We have CEO tickets sold out, founder tickets sold out, executive tickets sold out. Platinum's about to sell out. Only generals are going to be left. And then the Menect. Those of you guys that are competing for Menect, I cannot wait for you to come to the Menect dinner, the Menect lounge. There's going to be a room where you'll be networking with other people, CEOs. Here's what the categories look like right now with lightweight. Bryce Mitchell's at the top, then Caleb, then Jose competing. Rob, can you just go to the site so we can see some of the other names? just go to Menect and then go to the leaders board, and we can show that. Zoom in a little bit if you could. So the way it works, the scoring system, per Menect you finish, go to the top, Rob, a little bit. Not that high. Go a little lower, Rob. Go a little low, right in the middle, right there. For each completed Menect is 1 point. Each review is 2 points. Each unique review is 3 points that you get. So based on that scoring system, you can go a little lower. Here's what you'll notice. Bryce Mitchell at the top, then Caleb, Jose. These are people that have never been an expert on Menect, that never had done a Menect, that just started. Adam Hudson, Brianne Dressen, Stephen Hamal, all these guys. You're in the top 10. Go to the next one, middleweight. These are people that had done Menect before. Matten's first place right now. Big lead, 211. Then it's Samuel Riley, Drew Miller, Cecilia Vargas is on there, and CEO Rollo Tomasi. Okay, he's at sixth place.
Rollo.
Now go to the next one,
Welcome
heavyweight.
back, Rollo.
We got Dennis Panev, first place, then it's Candace, then it's Calvin Inc. Dustin's right behind Calvin. Rob Gargullo. Oh, Rob G,
Rob
buddy
G.
boy. Wayne Wyant, Michael Mara, Sapala, Kelly Davis. Super heavyweight, Vinny, dominating everybody. And then let's go to the next one. Go to the next one. These are users asking questions. Matt's at the top, but only a 10-point lead. And I think he's coming from Australia to the vault. Russell Morgan.
Mark.
Mark, I'm sorry, Mark. And then Russell Morgan, Rachel, Ronald, you know who you are. And then go to the next one. These are people that have never used Menect. Now they're asking questions. Shaw, Rachel Cox, Matthew, user 0, Chris. So these are folks that are using Menect. Gang, in a political climate like this, you guys are asking a lot of questions about politics. Download the app. Ask Candace. She responds like this. Ask Tulsi. They're actually responding. Ask Cuomo. They're actually responding. What do you think about XYZ? Some of the biggest communications right now are being done on Menect. Go back to that profile you had, Rob, of all those guys. Questions for me, for Tom, for Vinny, for Adam. Use our QR code. Ask us whatever questions you got today.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.